All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about waking up a muscle group that, for so many of us, has just completely fallen asleep on the job. We're going to break down exactly why this happens and, more importantly, what you can do to fix it.
So, does this look familiar? I mean, hours at a desk, hours in the car, or maybe just kicking back on the couch. This whole modern sedentary lifestyle, it's really at the heart of the problem we are about to unpack. It sounds kind of funny, right? Dead butt syndrome. But I promise you, it's a very real and surprisingly common condition. And honestly, it's often the secret reason behind all those mysterious aches and pains that just seem to pop up out of nowhere. So, what is it really? Well, the fancy clinical term is gluteal amnesia. And it happens when your glutes, from just being sat on and inactive for so long, they essentially forget how to fire up and do their job. But here's the good news. They're not gone for good, they're just dormant.
And believe me, this isn't just about how you look. This condition is a direct result of our modern lives, and as you're about to see, it can kick off a whole chain reaction of problems all throughout your body. So let's get into our first section here, why this asleep at the wheel muscle matters so much for your overall health.
Let me ask you, do any of these ring a bell? That nagging lower back pain that just won't go away? Stiff hips when you stand up? Maybe even sore knees after a totally normal walk? These are all classic textbook signs that your glutes might not be pulling their weight.
And here's the thing, your body is incredibly smart. When a huge muscle group like your glutes just decides to check out, other smaller, less equipped muscles are forced to pick up all the slack. Your lower back, your hamstrings, they start working overtime. And that leads to strain, fatigue, and yep, eventually pain. It's a classic case of overcompensation.
Now, to fix a problem, you've got to understand the machinery first. So let's properly meet the muscles we're talking about, what I like to call your body's true powerhouse.
So it's really important to know that it's not just one muscle. It's a whole team of three working together. You've got the gluteus maximus, that's the big one, the powerhouse for standing up, climbing, and running. Then you've got the medius and minimus on the sides. These guys are absolutely critical for stabilizing your pelvis and keeping you balanced when you walk.
Think of them like the engine for your body. Seriously, when that engine is running smoothly, you move with power, with efficiency, and with stability. But when it's turned off, well, everything else has to work that much harder just to get you down the road. Okay, so how do we turn that engine back on? It starts somewhere you might not expect. Not with heavy weights, but inside your head. This, right here, is the secret fix. The mind-to-muscle connection. This phrase really says it all. If you can't feel a muscle working, then it's not working. It's that simple. You could do 1,000 squats, but if you don't actually feel your glutes engaging, you're mostly just training your legs and your back. That feeling, that squeeze, that little bit of a burn, that is the sign that you're actually hitting the target. So here's a super quick look at what's happening biologically. Every single movement starts with a thought. Your brain sends an electrical signal down your nerves, which releases a chemical messenger that tells your muscle fibers to contract. With gluteal amnesia, that signal has just gotten really weak from disuse. Our job is to make that signal strong and crystal clear again. Let's look at a really practical example here. On the left, you've got someone who's just kind of going through the motions of a squat. Their quads and back are taking over. But on the right, you see someone who's actively thinking, squeeze the glutes, and they're starting the movement from there. The difference in muscle activation? It is absolutely night and day. All right, now that we understand how to turn them on, let's talk about the best tools for the job. We're talking about the right exercises. First things first, let's bust a common myth. Squats and lunges are fantastic exercises, don't get me wrong. But if your glutes are asleep, they're just not going to get the message. To fix this, we need to start with simpler, more direct movements to wake them up first. We call these activation exercises. And the undisputed champion, the king of glute activation, is the glute bridge. It's simple, it's incredibly effective, and you can do it pretty much anywhere. It is the perfect way to build that mind-muscle connection we were just talking about. Form is absolutely everything here. So lie on your back, drive up through your heels to lift your hips, and at the very top of the movement, pause and give your glutes a really hard squeeze. Remember, the goal isn't just about how high you can go, it's about the quality of that contraction. Okay, now for a kind of surprising number, 103%. What could that possibly mean? I mean, how can you get more than 100% of a muscle to work?
Well, this number reveals the true power of targeted activation. Research has actually shown that certain isolation exercises can achieve over 100% of what's called maximal voluntary muscle contraction. In plain English, that means these specific focused moves can wake up more muscle fibers in your side glutes than even heavy compound lifts like squats can. Pretty amazing, right?
Okay, theory is great, but let's make this actionable. Here is a super simple at-home plan so you can put all of this into practice, like today. So here's a no-equipment starter routine. And notice the logic here. We begin with the glute bridge to activate the muscle. Then we challenge your balance and stability with something like a single leg deadlift. And finally, we integrate it all into a big compound movement like the squat. With every single rep, just focus on your form and feeling the right muscles do the work. And hey, please remember that exercise is only half the battle. To actually build and strengthen muscle, you need the right fuel. That means prioritizing protein for repair, getting good quality carbs for energy, and including healthy fats for hormone function. Your nutrition is just non-negotiable here. So the real takeaway here is this. Your glutes are absolutely foundational to your strength, and being able to move without